All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day. The break is over. MLB is back. 15 games on tap. We're going to talk about every game like we always do. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel absolutely free, and comment down below with your favorite play of the day. If you want my picks early, it's completely free. Just join the Discord. Link is down below. You typically get those picks 30 to 45 minutes prior to the video coming out. So, like I said, absolutely free, pretty cool community in there. Lots of good information. All right, we went 0-0 yesterday. So let's delve into this slate, talk about these games post All-Star break, first game back, and we're going to kick it off with the Red Sox and the Cubs. Kicking us off at 2:20, so a little Friday day game action. Lucas Giolito going up against Colin Rea. So in terms of the weather here, we do have the wind blowing in today. It's going to be between like 5-7 miles an hour. It's going to be 72 degrees, so not a bad day. Giolito is 6-1 on the season, so having a pretty fantastic run. These Red Sox were probably the team that most did not want to see the All-Star break come. They've won 10 in a row. Cubs had also won 2 in a row, so you got 2 teams on a winning streak coming off the break. How will they fare? Well, I'll tell you, the Cubs at home this season have been outstanding against non-divisional opponents in the first game of a series. They have a fantastic winning record here, so I do kind of want to lean towards the Cubs. Colorado is used to pitching in this park. Now, my concerns, obviously, the All-Star break. Cubbies did have some players in it, right? You had PCA. Yeah, Kyle Tucker, right? Those guys. And Giolito has been pretty stout against lefties over the last 30 days with a 159 average. Righties are hitting 224 off of him. Hard hit percentage is a little high, but he's been a stud on the road. He's got a 195 ERA and 6 away starts, but his fastball is not good. He has a very below average fastball, and this is a Cubs team that hits the fastball well. His slider is okay. It's still technically below the league average in terms of spin rate and movement, and there's a Cubs team that's hitting the slider well. Now, I think he'll find a lot of success with his changeup. He has an above-average changeup, and there's a Cubs team that struggled to hit the changeup, so that might be an angle there. On the other side, Colin Rea, pretty much he's below average. He's got a really good slider. He's got a plus slider, but everything else, it was technically below league average. So it's a tough one here with the Red Sox on a roll here. Rea kind of struggling against lefties, 279, but he's been pretty solid against righties, giving up a 191 average. But at home, he's got a 4.13 ERA. I mean, it's a coin flippy game. I want to lean Cubs just because they've been fantastic against these non-divisional opponents, but bit of a coin flip. But lean Cubs, the value's on the Red Sox. We got an over-under of 8.5. Kind of want to lean towards the over if the wind wasn't blowing in at Wrigley. So it's a bit of a gamble taking it over with the wind blowing in here. But that would be the way I would lean here. I think the Red Sox offense stays hot. They're able to hit Rea, but I think ultimately the Cubs come out on top here. Next game is going to be the White Sox and the Pirates. It's going to be Jonathan Cannon going up against Bailey Falter. So Cannon on the season, 4.97 ERA and 9 away starts. Bailey Falter, 3.25 ERA and 10 home starts. He's really struggled against righties, though. Over the last 30 days, they're hitting 317 off of him. It's been fantastic lefty on lefty. On the other side, Jonathan Cannon's kind of been getting hit up from both sides of the plate. 258 average to lefties, 286 to righties. Hard hit percentage is fairly high, but Falter's actually a little bit higher. This is one, there's some value taking the White Sox here. Weather-wise, it's going to be 78 degrees. There is an 18% chance of rain, and we've got a very slight wind today. Going to be like 2 to 4 miles an hour. Kind of want to take the under. I feel like this is 2 teams that were really cold coming into the break. I think they're going to be cold coming out of the break. White Sox versus lefties over the last 2 weeks has been awful. They're hitting 165. They're hitting 160 over the past week. Now, again, very small sample size when we start talking about a week because of the break. So we're going to focus mainly on the last 2 weeks, but not good. We look at the Pirates against righties, not good. 183 average, 36 WRC plus. It's 2 teams that are struggling to score runs. I think there's some success here taking the under 8.5. Jonathan Cannon over 3.5 Ks is another play I looked at. You can get that at minus 125 on some books right now. But yeah, it would be the under 8.5 and the White Sox for me. All right, next game is going to be the Padres and the Nationals. So this one, we got Dylan Cease going up against Michael Soroka. So Dylan Cease, in his career, had a terrible last start. Got absolutely rocked. You guys know I don't love taking Dylan Cease. But as I was kind of looking, digging through some numbers here, when Dylan Cease has allowed 6 or more earned runs, he is 15-2 in his career in that following game. He's been outstanding. Against this Nationals team, he's 2-0. They've won by 5 and 3 runs. So I do like the Padres here, but it's pretty heavily juiced, and I don't necessarily want to take them on the run line. There is some value taking them on the run line. We're going to take the Padres on the money line, but we're going to take over 7. I do see runs being scored in this game. Padres did have 3 players in the All-Star game. All of them pitched. So how much will they go today? I don't know. I mean, it's several days rest, so technically they should be good, but I could see them giving up some runs to this Nationals team. When we look at the pitching splits here, Soroka's been decent. 245 against lefties, 214 against righties. 5.67 ERA, though, at home. Now, Dylan Cease has a 6.27 ERA and 10 road starts, so not a ton better, but he's been really good against lefties, giving up a 209 average. I do think, he does have some plus stuff, like his slider's really good. His fastball's technically above league average. He's got a really good changeup, so should be able to do okay today, but this Padres team should win. We should see some runs. There is a chance of a delay. 81 degrees, 51% chance of rain with a very, very low wind today. So not going to have much of an impact in terms of, holding balls up into the wind or anything like that. It's technically going to be in, but it's only going to be like 2 or 3 miles an hour. So very, very light wind. Like I said, Padres on the money line over 7 runs. Put that together, we get nice plus money play here. Next game is going to be the Angels and the Phillies. So not really sure who's pitching for the Angels. I believe it's going to be Jose Soriano. We do know for Philly it's going to be Jesus Luzardo. Now, I think this is an Angels team that should be able to get to Luzardo. They have been hitting really, really well, and his pitch mix just isn't fantastic here. The fastball mainly. The Angels hit the fastball really well, and Luzardo's fastball is not fantastic. On a scale of 1 to 100, it's rated at like an 83. So not great there. His real nice pitch is his slider, but the Angels have been hitting the slider extremely well. Second over the last 30 days hitting the slider. They're 5th hitting the changeup. So Luzardo's a 3-pitch pitcher kind of guy. And then on the other side, I think that the Phillies should be able to tee off a little bit on Soriano. Although he's been fantastic, we know he's prone to some serious blow-ups here. So I do like the over here. So over 8.5 looks pretty appealing. It's going to be 84 degrees, so pretty decent day there. And we are going to have the winds kind of be basically blowing left to right. At times it's going to be blowing out. Sometimes it's going to be blowing in. But home runs are projected to be up 20%. Runs are projected to be up 9%. So I do like this spot here. Got a very weak 2 teams with, let's say, mid bullpens. Technically they're ranked 17th and 16th over the last 30 days, but I see runs once we get the starters out of this game. Ultimately, Angels on the run line is pretty good value in my opinion. All right, next game, Giants and the Blue Jays. Justin Verlander going up against Chris Bassett. Verlander still yet to record a win on the season. He is 0-7 with a 5 ERA on the road. Chris Bassett's been outstanding at home. He's got a 2.81 ERA and 10 home starts, but his mix hasn't been really fantastic. Giving up a 300 average to lefties, 256 to righties. We look at Verlander, 333 to lefties, 271 to righties. So this would be one, it's over or Giants money line would be the only way I would play these today. But do I really want to take Verlander to get a win against a Toronto team coming into the break was absolutely on fire? Not really, against a Giants team that kind of struggled a little bit against righties. Over the last 2 weeks hitting 223, whereas the Blue Jays hitting 283 with a 122 WRC+. Really good record at home for the Blue Jays, 32-16. Giants are one game under 500 on the road. Both of these teams coming off back-to-back losses prior to the All-Star break, but the Blue Jays are still 7-3 in their last 10. So, like I said, over or the Giants on the money line. Next game is going to be the Reds and the Mets. Nick Lodolo going up against Sean Manaea. Now, I don't know how much Sean Manaea is going to go in terms of pitch count, things like that. So we'll have to see. But I can see Manaea just absolutely dominating this Reds team. They just struggle against his pitch mix. This guy throws a plus slider and a plus changeup, and those are just two pitches that they are not really good in. So I could see Reds struggling a little bit in this game. We've got an over-under of 8. Lodolo on the road's been fantastic. He's got a 2.56 ERA in 9 away starts. Splits look pretty good, 231 to lefties, 213 to righties. Hard hit percentage is okay. He's been really good with runners in scoring position, 189. But again, I don't know how much we'll see Manaea. He's got one outing under his belt. He went 3.1 innings, so safe to say probably going to go somewhere between 4 and 5 innings. I think he's probably going to K the hell out of this Reds team, so over 5.5 strikeouts might be a play here. I got to look into it a little bit more. But the Mets at home in the first game of a divisional game, they're 8-2 this year, so looking pretty good on that front. Reds are 6-5. In that same scenario. So over under of 8, we've got 83 degrees, and there's going to be a 7-mile-an-hour wind that is going to be blowing in today. So runs are going to be down, home runs are going to be down. Over under of 8, might first 5 under would probably be the way I would play this. All right, next game is going to be the A's and the Guardians. It's going to be JP Sears, I do believe, going up against Slade Sassoni. So this one, 7:10 first pitch here. It's going to be 78 degrees, and the wind's going to be blowing in at Progressive Field. Two teams that offensively haven't looked fantastic. You get the A's on the road. They just haven't been able to score runs. Cleveland just hasn't been able to score runs against anybody. They're hitting sub 200 over the past 2 weeks. That said, I would take Cleveland at home, but they actually have a losing record. They're 20-23 on the season at home. The A's are 21-26 on the road. Both teams are coming off back-to-back wins prior to the All-Star break. Give me the under 8.5 as a best bet. This field does do a decent job at limiting runs when the wind is blowing in, and it's going to be blowing in from right center, so it should kind of stifle a little bit of these lefty bats here on both sides of the lineup. Now, it's a little bit scary taking an over or an under against a team that Sassoni's got a 5 ERA at home. JP Sears 4.14 ERA on the road. Both of these guys don't have super strong pitch mixes here, but I do like the under 8.5. I think that they might come out a little cold here out of the break. In terms of who wins, I would lean Cleveland as well. All right, next game is going to be the Royals and the Marlins. I believe it's going to be Seth Lugo, although they haven't officially announced who's pitching. For the Marlins, we do know it's going to be Sandy Alcantara. So this is one. Sandy's looked a lot better as of late. There's still that guy back there. He's got a 5.30 ERA and 10 away starts. Lugo sub 3 and 7 away starts. Splits have looked really good. He's dominating against righties over the last 30 days, only giving up a 122 average. Hard hit percentage, a little bit higher than I would like, but he's been dealing with runners in scoring position. It would be the Royals for me. I do like the Royals in this spot. We're getting a pretty cheap price to take the Royals, as long as Lugo's pitching. That's kind of the gamble you take. Also wouldn't mind the under 8 as well. We've just seen that this Royals team can struggle to hit, so just kind of backing that. Next game is going to be the Yankees and the Braves. We don't know who the starter is going to be for the Yankees. I'm fairly certain it's Max Fried, but they haven't officially announced it. Spencer Strider will be starting for the Braves. Strider 3-7 on the season. Fried 11-3 with a 2.43 ERA. We've definitely seen Fried kind of come back to earth after that pretty epic start, but he's got a 2.58 ERA at home, giving up a 300 average to lefties over the last 30 days, but give me a first 5 under 4.5 as the best bet, and I would lean Yankees on the money line. Next game, Orioles and the Rays. Grandpa Charlie going up against Taj Bradley. So Taj Bradley has not been good in these divisional games. He's 4-7 at home in divisional games going back to 2023. Charlie Morton 6-7. But I just can't get behind the Rays here. Offensively, they were kind of sputtering a little bit. We did see the O's kind of pick it up a little bit, but these are two teams on losing streaks. Rays lost 4 in a row. Orioles have lost 2 in a row, but the Rays are 2-8 in their last 10. Give me the Orioles and the over as plays I like in this one. Next game is going to be the Tigers. And the Rangers is going to be Patrick Corbin Day going up against Reese Olson. This is one I really wanted to take an over, but there's kind of conflicting information here. So the Tigers are 11-2 to the over in the first game of a series on the road, but the Rangers are 4-10 to the under in the first game of a series at home. And then the Tigers have gone under in 2 of their last 3. So under 8.5 looks somewhat appealing. Don't think I'll pull the trigger on it. This is a Tigers team that struggled against lefties over the last 2 weeks. I mean, pretty mightily, hitting .083 over the last 2 weeks. And this is a Rangers team that's been red hot hitting. They've been hitting .279 over the past 2 weeks, .311 over the past week. I am a little nervous with Reese Olson against lefties. They've been getting the best of him for sure, giving up a .385 average, but he's been really solid against righties. I'm just fading Patrick Corbin. Corbin's got almost a 4 ERA at home. Don't love his pitch mix today. I think the break was good for the Tigers. So give me the Tigers on the money line. I do have them winning this game 4-3. So I have it a low scoring game, but we'll see what happens here. Next game is going to be the Twins and the Rockies. Chris Paddock going up against Kyle Freeland. Freeland finally got himself a win. He is 1-10 on the season. He's got nearly a 7 ERA at Coors Field. Chris Paddock has a 5.5 ERA and 10 away starts. His splits look awful. He's given up a .360 average to righties, .273 to lefties. Just two guys that should be serving it up. So over 10.5 would be my best bet. You can get that on BetMGM. I do like that today. In terms of the weather, it's kind of a weird day. It's 87 degrees, so a really warm day. But the first hour, it looks like the wind's going to be blowing in, and then the rest of the game, the wind's going to be blowing out. So this might be one I wait. I can see a live bet opportunity. Wait for that wind to start blowing out a little bit, and then hammer the over. But this one could get ugly early. Who knows? So this might be a live bet opportunity that I may be taking like the second or the third if we don't see any runs. All right, next game is going to be the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. Andre Pallante going up against Merrill Kelly. We have a pretty massive pitching advantage, in my opinion, towards the D-backs, and they're the home team. That said, D-backs at home, 23-25, so 2 games under 500. Cardinals are 4 games under 500 on the road. Both of these teams are coming off a win right before the break, but they're 4-6 in their last 10. You do have a massive advantage towards the D-backs here. Now, one of the things Pallante has going for him, he is a ground ball pitcher, almost up there with the Jose Soriano level, but 63% of his outs come via the ground ball. But recent form heading into the break, I just didn't like the way he looked. I think they should be able to tee off on his curveball here. D-backs do hit righty curveballs quite nicely. They also hit the slider well. So 2 pitches that he relies extremely heavy on. So it would be D-backs here for me in this spot. Next game is going to be the Astros and the Mariners. So this is going to be Walter versus Luis Castillo. So Castillo, not been as dominant as when he first kind of came over to Seattle, but he's 8-7 in the first game of a series at home over the last couple of years. He's 5-8-2 to the first 5, so it's really kind of struggled with the first 5. 2-0 to the over in these spots, so we do have an over/under of 7.5. I just don't know if I trust the Mariners to hit Walter is my only issue, but you're getting a Mariners team 4 games over 500 at home, 25-21. But you got an Astros team that's 2 games over 500 on the road. They're coming off a loss. The Mariners had won 3 straight prior to the break. So it's a bit of a coin flip. I would go Astros first 5. I think Walter should be able to stymie this lineup a little bit. And I think this Astros team should be able to get to Castillo, especially the lefty bats. He's given up a 3.15 average of lefties over the last 30 days, but he's been solid at home, 2.29 ERA, but I would go Astros first 5 in that one. All right, last game on the card is going to be the Brew Crew going up against the Dodgers. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Quinn Priester or Jose Quintana. This is another one. I'm just not sure who's going. So too many variables here. We've got Tyler Glasnow on the other side. Glasnow, not a lot of innings under his belt here. He's got 23 innings under his belt for the season. It's going to be 72 degrees. In terms of the wind, it is going to be blowing out today. But do I trust this over-under? 10.5 is insane. It's a wild over-under. So maybe Dodgers team total over would be the only way I would touch this. But everything's just highly inflated to me in this game. I wouldn't want to take the Dodgers on the run line. This Brew Crew team had won 7 in a row coming into the break. They're 8-2 in their last 10. 500 record at home. There's just too many variables. Need to know who's pitching first. If it is Quinn Priester, probably go Dodgers on the run line. But if it's Quintana, I would probably go Brewers on the run line. So a lot of variables there. All right, let's get into our best bets. Get you guys on your way. First bet today, going to be the A's and the Guardians, under 8.5. Like I said, just fading two offenses that have been fantastic. We're going to take the Angels and the Phillies over 8.5. I like this spot. We got optimal conditions today at Citizens Bank Park. I think this Angels team stay hot. We've seen the Angels on the road just absolutely catch fire. I think Luzardo could definitely get rocked today. It is potential, and I think the Phillies and the Angels bullpens are just ticking time bombs. We're going to take the Tigers on the money line. Everything here says take the Rangers, I'll be honest, but this is more, I think that break was fantastic for the Tigers, and I think they come back strong today against Patrick Corbin. We're going to take the Padres on the money line and over 7. So we're just fading a terrible Nationals team. Like I said, Dylan Cease 15-2 in his career after he's given up 6 runs in his previous game, and he's got good form against this Nationals lineup. So I like that spot. But if he screws me, I'll never play Dylan Cease again. And then we're going to do the Yankees and the Braves, first 5 under 4.5. Again, we're assuming it's going to be Max Fried. Could technically get burned if it's somebody else, but I feel pretty good about this spot. So we've seen this Braves to offense struggle. We've seen the Yankees offense struggle. I think Spencer Strider pitches okay and should be able to keep this Yankees lineup somewhat subdued, at least through 5. So those are our 5 best bets. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.